I have the privilege of coaching and consulting with lots of advisors. And I have the 2 decades of experience of failing forward a multitude of times that I've learned a couple of important things that I want to share with my fellow financial advisors or anyone in the business of financial services in general. And this is really the key component. It seems like every single conversation that I have always starts off with business. It always starts off with the money. You know, we often say here to our clients, we want to have a relationship with you. We definitely want to help you manage your money. We definitely want to make money a priority and something that we have as much control and influence on as we possibly can for you and your world with your plan. But we want to make life the priority. We want to make relationships the priority. And how do we do that if we always lead with business? So I'll be talking to a newer financial advisor and they'll go right into, okay, so here's what Mr. and Mrs. Johnson need to accomplish, and here's their goals, and here's how we're going to get there. And I'll pause them and I'll say, tell me about Mr. and Mrs. Johnson. What do they do? What's their family structure like? Who are they? What's the most important thing to them? What are the biggest problems they're facing in their lives right now? What are their largest challenges? You'd be surprised how many times advisors that have been doing this for a long, long time have absolutely zero idea of the things that are most important to the people sitting across from them. Now, I know if you watch these videos, you probably are the type of person that is the opposite of that, and you're really relating to the fact that you've always been a relationship builder. I call it relationship advising. You know, relationship advising is about the connectivity of understanding what's important to the person across from you. Understanding that the values that make up that human being or that couple sitting across from you are more important than the money itself, obviously, right? But if I don't understand this, what's important about life, I can't help you with wealth. Nobody can. All they're doing is creating a plan that you're never going to execute upon. Could you imagine somebody coming in, sitting across from a health coach or a personal trainer, and that personal trainer just talking to them, and this happens all the time in the personal training realm. Believe me, it's why there's such a high failure rate. But the reality is they come into the gym, they work out, they do all the right things, but they have 0 results. Why do they have 0 results? They have 0 results because the personal trainer or the fitness coach or the consultant that's sitting across from them in that gym hasn't figured out why they're struggling with weight. What's holding them back? What are the things they're doing? What is their daily activity? How are they putting themselves in positions to be more successful versus failing? How are the things in their house? I could tell you right now, financially, personally, whether it's health-wise or not, let's just use chocolate, okay? If chocolate's in my house, I'm eating it. If my personal trainer is telling me, Scott, you need to lose X amount of weight, or you're really struggling with that last couple of pounds, and I don't tell him about the fact that if chocolate's in my house, I can't win, I'm losing, he's losing, and we're not hitting our goals. So I use that analogy because everybody kind of understands health objectives, but when it comes to finance, and you're sitting across from a client as an advisor, or you're the client sitting across from that advisor, and you don't want to tell them anything about your life. This happens too. You have someone come in, they literally hand you all their paperwork. Here's all my files, here's my taxes, here's this, what are you gonna do? And I go, let's figure out what's going on in your world first. You know, when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to accountability, when it comes to that same analogy I just used, the thing I teach so many of our advisors and consult with is when a person comes in and truly bears their soul to you. You know, their finances, their money is a part of their accomplishments. It's a part of their success. Whether it really matters to true success or not, it is an indicator that everybody judges themselves on. Are you making enough money? Do you supply enough for your family? Have you made it to a certain level? Have you reached your goals? They're sitting in front of me as an advisor, and they're telling me everything that's most important. They may be telling us challenges they have in their marriage. They may be telling us challenges that their children are providing them. Maybe they have a child addicted to something that they can't seem to help them. These are the things that we help them overcome any way that we can. And maybe sometimes we're just listening. But the reality is when I'm sitting in that desk, they're sitting across from me. It's kind of like getting out of the shower, looking in the mirror and knowing that the person in the mirror right there is not hitting their financial goals. It's really standing in front of them, bearing your soul, bearing everything that's important to you, and them feeling like you might judge them. So another thing that we teach is it's really important not to judge. It's really important to sit there and listen and understand and empathize, but to create an action plan accompanied with that empathy. You know, it's one thing to feel for the other person across from the desk and sympathize. It's another thing to really put yourself in that seat. And it's even a further one to provide action steps to help them be successful. Maybe it's the couple being on the same page and making sure they both feel heard. Maybe it's their children that are impeding them from ever retiring because they're sucking the life out of them by living with them and still taking all their bills, and they're on the cell phone and they pay their insurance and they're on their this. And you know how many times that's their biggest challenge? Parents want to give the world to their kids, but you watch them challenged with that and you can help them solve some of those problems. Or maybe you can empathize with them and provide some action steps so they can solve it themselves, because you can't actually solve it for them. But to my fellow advisors or even the clients sitting across from the desk, you know, it's important to understand the story. It's important to understand the story behind the human, not just the money. The money is a byproduct of great humans, great action, things that have happened in their lives. And maybe money has no representation of what that person stands for or wants in their life. And maybe it's just about helping them figure out how to work and live off of exactly what they have right now. All valid, unbelievable ways to accomplish goals for yourself, your clients, and your business. But these are some of the things that I feel are most important.